Welcome to Goldfield, Nevada, population 300, give or take a few. And while the number of residents is small, its storied history is rather large.
Goldfield, Nevada, a place of fortune in the early 20th century, now a historic treasure for the Silver State.
Hey, Alan, I just want to say thanks for taking time to meet me here today. I've always heard about this town, and I'm so excited to learn about it.
A Nevada history buff, Alan Metcher founded the Central Nevada Historical Society with his brothers in 1977.
Tell me about Goldfield. First of all, the name. Did it get its name because there was gold in them thar hills?
Oh yeah, and a lot of it too. A lot of gold.
When did this happen?
That was late 1902. The initial discovery of gold was said to be fisherman was a Native American, and he evidently found some gold over here behind Columbia Mountain.
Following the natives' lead, miners Stimler and Marsh made 3 claims on the north ridge of the mountain. They named the new mining district Grandpa before it officially became the town of Goldfield in 1903.
So 1902 comes along, Goldfield is pretty much born, and then people just flocked here, didn't they?
Oh, by the dozens, by the
Tens of thousands.
tens of thousands, because the Goldfield's population did get up to well over 20,000.
And it was all kinds of people.
Oh, businessmen, promoters, speculators, barkeepers, prostitutes, the whole gamut.
The whole gamut. How many of the original buildings are still here?
Well, I'll put it this way, 90% of the original buildings are gone.
Wow. Which ones are still here?
4-story Goldfield Hotel, brick and stone building, the courthouse, the firehouse, and the old Goldfield High School.
Let's go back to the hotel because you have a story about that being haunted.
Oh yes, and I'll give some credits to one story, and it came from my grandmother, who was a maid in the Goldfield Hotel 1915, 1916. She came to work in the morning, and she was walking down the hallway, and she knew Mr. Finley. He was an employee at the hotel. His door was opened as she walked down, and he was standing there. And she said, "Good morning, Mr. Finley." Later went on down and was talking to the desk clerk. And the desk clerk said, "Too bad about Finley, isn't it?" And she said, "Well, what do you mean? I just saw him a little while ago." Desk clerk said, "You couldn't have. He committed suicide last night."
Shivers. I got the shivers.
The Goldfield Hotel outlasted multiple fires until its final reconstruction in 1908. Listed on the National Register of Historic Places, the hotel housed officers of the Tonopah-based Army Air Forces during World War II and is currently a hot spot for paranormal activity.
Tell me about what Main Street was like and what happened to it.
Oh, bustling place. South Main, that was designated for the red light district. Further up in the end was the Goldfield Brewing Company. North Main Street, businesses of any kind you could think of almost. And extending on down there for, 25 blocks at least.
And what happened to it?
Well, 1923, it said that a whiskey still blew up, or it was sabotaged to the bootlegger that was making the whiskey here right behind us. And on that day in 1923, terrific wind out of the south. From the fire here, the ashes, embers, sparks blowing on down north and wound up taking out over 20 city blocks. That fire did.
The 1923 Main Street fire claimed 23 blocks and 2 lives. A year later, a second fire furthered the damages. The tragedies were the death knell for Goldfield as a big city.
Tell me about this intersection. This was a hot spot.
Oh yeah, this was the corner of Crook Avenue and Main Street. And across the street here on the left, you had a saloon. Off to on the right-hand side was the Mohawk Saloon. Had the Hermitage Saloon right over here behind me. And over on this side, we had the National Club and the Northern Saloon.
It's just like New York City.
New York City, it was a busy area during the boom days.
And one of the bars was specifically long, wasn't it?
It was known as the longest bar in Nevada, and it was right up in that direction. You can see the stone front still there. That was the only thing that survived the 1923 fire.
Crime ran rampant on Main Street, and any desire was never far from reach, especially a bottle of whiskey. But here in Goldfield, as history melts away, the new springs out of the ground.
Okay, so this is unique, not exactly what I was expecting, but that's the state of Nevada. It's not always about history, sometimes it's about curiosities. What is this?
Well, it's now known as the car forest.
When did this get put in here?
Oh, as I think back approximately 2007, 2008, when a fellow by the name of Mark Rippey began digging holes and burying cars, and it just seems like they sprung out of the ground.
Although Mark Rippey erected the nearly 40-vehicle car forest, it was Chad Sorg, a local artist from Reno, who gave the cars an individual identity.
I want to thank you for spending the day with me. I learned a lot and I've had a lot of fun.
Well, you're welcome and my pleasure.
Today, Goldfield stands as a fragment of the once promising and indulgent town that shaped Nevada's mining boom. It's a trip down memory lane where rich stories and curiosities keep on calling for adventure.